Welcome to Compass Games 3. This is a tutorial on using a compass and a straight edge and some pens to generate geometric constructions. And these constructions are really beautiful and they've been around for millennia. They come to us from the ancient world, and there are several. The one we focus on today is a square in a circle. You may have heard the expression squaring the circle. Squaring the circle. That is a geometry puzzle that comes from the ancient world. That is not what we're solving today. We are using our compass and straight edge to create squares and circles within each other. And this has been done all over the ancient world. This has been done all over the ancient world. You could do this with a stake in the ground and a rope tied to the stake, scribing patterns on the ground to help lay out building foundations. Today, we can use a compass. Let's begin. So this will start, in fact, with a pencil. We're adding a pencil to our drawing kit. So this pencil, let me move these guys here for now. We're going to make a line segment. Okay, here is my line segment. In fact, I will ink it so that you can see it better. So this is my line segment. And yes, I'm freehanding with my ink pen, tracing over what was just drawn using the straight edge. So you can think of every line segment as being a radius of a circle. Isn't that cool? So I'm going to put one end of my compass on one end of the line segment, and I use a compass with a screw so that I can make it quite secure. And now I have my compass set to match the line segment. I'm going to draw a circle. Okay, there's our first circle. So now, this line segment that I started with is now, as you can see, the radius of a circle. We're interested in making a 4-petal square, a 4-petal flower, a square in a circle, many names it might go by. So now I'm going to rotate my compass, and the point is at this place where the circle just touches the end of that line segment. I'm going to draw a second circle. Whoops, I do this. It's a good thing my compass has a pencil tip and not an ink tip. We'll just clean this up. Voila. For anyone who doesn't know, this is a kneaded gum eraser. Fabulous for erasing pencil marks. Does not leave any crumbs on your paper. Okay, I may have to not talk while I do this. Okay, now we have two circles side by side. And with these two circles, we have the foundation for the square in the circle. So just using a straight edge and a pencil, look at where these two circles intersect. that is going to create a vertical line like so. Again, just using a straight edge. Okay, does the camera see that? Yeah, barely. Let me ink this one. So here are the intersections of our two circles. And when I connect them with a straight line, which I'm freehanding, you could also certainly use your straight edge, as I did when I drew the pencil line. What we have now is a cross. This vertical line bisects the first line segment, and it creates right angles. See that? So using nothing but a straight edge, a compass, and a drawing tool, we have now created a perfect cross with 4 90-degree angles. This is very cool. So now the next step, we're going to start adjusting our compass size. This is now going to be the diameter of an inner circle. So it's going to be a small circle. So what I do is place the tip of the compass on the crosshairs, right, where these guys cross each other. And I adjust it down in size. And what we have is that this is our new radius. So I'm off and running. There we go. So this circle is now perfectly bisected by this cross. And this has created 4 quadrants. And this is actually the beginning of our square in the circle. So check this out. Where the circle intersects, let me do this in ink, we'll see it better. Where the circle intersects those become the points for our first square. So using my straight edge, again, not a ruler, just a straight edge. If I'm very careful and I line the tip of my pencil up, I can now connect the dots, and we will have a square in a circle. There you go. Pencil and straight edge have just created for us a circle, which I think you can see it on this drawing actually, even without inking it. Here's the circle. Here's the first square in the circle. Pretty cool. So if we want to show the 4-petaled flower that appears as a decorative motif in all kinds of cultures all around the world, and especially in the Americas, in North America, we go back to using our compass. And what I want to do now is create 4 circles, and I want their centers to just touch right here. And that, where those circles overlap, will create 4 petals. So the tip of the compass goes here, and then it's going to go at this corner, then at this corner, and then at this corner. And what you can see is that will put the tip with the lead at the center of our square. And that's going to create 4 circles that overlap And where they intersect, we'll see 4 petals. So let's begin. Here's the first one. Now this is about precision. So there's our first circle. So now let's do the second. The pointy part of the compass goes right here. And now, second circle. There it is. If you're a klutz like me, having a compass like this is fabulous because it will not pop open on you unexpectedly. Now I'm going to do the third circle. And again, this is about placing the tip precisely. There it is. Ah, careful. If you drop your compass and it has a very sharp, pokey tip, you got to get everything out of the way. And let's just check and see if that jarred it in any way. No, it still looks really good. Okay, so now you're beginning to see there's one petal here and there's one petal here. And let me call out the intersections. Where the circles intersect, that is the tip of a petal. So we've actually drawn 2 petals, but we had to draw 3 circles to get those 2 petals. So now we're going to do the pokey tip right there on the 4th corner. Again, this is about placing carefully so you draw neatly where things don't line up quite the way you hope they will. Okay, there is our 4th circle. And now you can see 1 petal, 2 petals, 3 petals, 4 petals. I am going to ink those so that you can clearly see them. Because right now what the camera's picking up is something that looks a little bit hard to read. So I will start with this one. I am a fan of freehanding ink. So there's the first petal. Here's the second petal. This can be our 3rd petal. And now our 4th. There you go. So those are our 4 petals, and they are nested within these various circles. And what you can see is that you have an opportunity here to be incredibly creative if you want to be. I'm going to add another square. By connecting the tips of the petals, I now create a second square. So now we have one square shaped as a diamond on its tip and a second square. We have our first circle, which I think I'm going to ink, but I'm not going to cut through the flower petals. So this is that first inner circle that we drew that allowed the petals to then be drawn also. There. There. Okay. I think I might go ahead and call out this square. What I ink, you can see more clearly. It has greater contrast. Here we are. I'm going to go ahead and ink part of the inner square. I don't think I want to cut through the petals, but by showing this, you'll get a sense of where the square is. There it is. So now you see two squares in a circle with 4 petals. And I can quite easily make this bigger. There's also a very beautiful geometric pattern here and here. And when you reach this state in your drawing, you can begin to develop it any way you want to. Something that I kind of enjoy doing is this. You can extend it. See that? I'm just extending. This is our original line segment, and I just extended it. You can extend it top and bottom. Drawing lightly in pencil, later on I will erase any lines I don't want to keep. So now we've extended it top and bottom. Check this out. By following the diagonal of the new square, petal tip to petal tip, we now have a circle bisected into 8 equal segments. Check that out. There we go. So now we can expand the circle quite easily. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to set the compass here so that now I want it to go along this diagonal right here, being as careful as I can to just touch the outer edge of the square. We now get a larger circle. There it is. I'm going to ink that, and check out what just happened. We now have crescent moons around our square. I'm going to ink this. There it is. So now we have our initial circle that was drawn using these 2 outermost circles at either end of a line segment. And from that has come this inner square, this circle, 4 flower petals, a larger outer square, a larger circle, and we could keep going endlessly with this. I think what I am going to do is outline these crescent moons, which I find rather pretty. And again, I'm doing this by hand. So it won't be perfect, but I kind of like that. Okay, check it out. If I want to, I can draw any part of these outer circles also and make them part of the design element. I think the next thing I'm going to do is erase a little bit of the pencil lines so that we can more easily and clearly see the flower. So a kneaded gum eraser can be shaped in different ways. So I'm shaping this one. So I'm going to erase what's inside the petals. No crumbs, see that? That's the joy of these kneaded gum erasers. Ah, now we can see the petals a little more clearly. There it is. So you can see the petals quite clearly. Something that is absolutely marvelous is this square is rotated from this square. So I think I might draw a couple more squares that are rotated, and what you will see is that they begin to form a petal pattern also. You could certainly stop here. This is really pretty. I think we'll just continue it a little more and see if we can show a couple rotated squares. So my next area to highlight let's look at this. We could do this. Could take a square here. In keeping with my strategy, I will use pencil at first. Now, the accuracy of your pattern depends on how carefully you lay out all these lines. And the more careful you are, the more perfect your pattern. So now we're going to have a diamond again, as we did for our first inner square. All right. There it is. And in fact, I can also rotate this and end up with a second square. This is really pretty though. Can you guys see that? Is the camera picking this up? Let me just ink that also. And in fact, if I don't want to ink all the way across, I could just ink here. Ooh, maybe I'll try that. Here. See what's happening? There's our diamond. So now we've got squares and circles woven together to create a really beautiful pattern. This might be an okay place to stop. So I'm going to do this. Just to call out this geometry, but without lending too much line weight that might distract from that center flower. And just do this. There you go. This is the square in the circle. And it is, again, a geometry that comes to us from the ancient world. And this in particular is very prevalent in the Americas. We have a lot of pueblos with images like this, decorating ancient pottery. If you have heard of Chaco Canyon, there are some ancient pueblos and kivas in there, and you can find these images. I invite you to do a little search and see what you can find. It's a spectacularly beautiful pattern, and it's been around millennia all over the world, especially easy to find here in North America and in Central America. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Compass Games 3, the Four-Petaled Flower, also known as the Square in the Circle.